can you describe a specific moment or interaction during the project that made you feel confident in our team's abilities?
I remember coming into the house one day and the two site supervisors were giving a scolding to some of the trades for not doing things to the way the homeowner would like. And they didn't know I was there. I wouldn't say they were scolding them, but they were being quite firm on something, on some details. So Tuscan Valley in that regard always impressed me.
What aspects of our design and building process stood out to you as exceptional?
I really was impressed when something had been done and I thought it looked great, but the team at Tuscan Valley didn't like it and disassembled it and started over. That really surprised me.
Were there any custom features or design elements that we implemented that you were particularly pleased with?
I was very surprised on what goes on behind the walls. I know that we, as a homeowner, as looking for aesthetics, don't know what's behind the walls. But I watched the amount of effort, the materials. It was very, very adamant on very high quality, lots of detail behind the walls, and that impressed me.
How did our team handle any challenges or obstacles that arose during the construction process?
Most of the project went very well. There were a few issues where we were in a little bit of a catch-22, or we were in a puzzle that we couldn't figure out how to solve. And what I liked was seeing everybody brainstorm to try to figure out how to overcome something to get it done quicker or get it done less expensively. And they usually prevailed. So I was pretty impressed how it's when you run into problems is when you really see how a group shines, and they did a great job.
Can you speak to the quality of craftsmanship and attention to detail in your finished home?
Yeah, I was kind of a pain in the ass as a homeowner because I came by quite a bit. And I remember walking in saying like, well, how long can this take? Or, that's not how I would do it. And I would just watch the painstaking detail they'd go to on certain things. Something that I would think as a DIY guy going out to Home Depot and buying some stuff, I think I could probably do that in an hour. They were meticulous on every detail, on every setup, every project, every stage. It was really impressive.
How would you describe the level of communication and responsiveness from our team throughout the project?
Working with the team was great. So you have, Sam, Randy sitting there working on things from the top level, Basil driving the bus, back at the office, Luigi and Rick as the supervisors, and then the people on site. It was really easy to communicate with them. Most impressive was when I would send a text message out, I was surprised to actually get one right back. It got to the point where I didn't want to email them or text them on a Saturday, Sunday. I would wait till Monday morning. But they were always getting back to me on Saturdays and Sundays. And I mean, they work 7 days a week.
Nice. I think this is related to that. What did you appreciate most about our customer service before, during, and after the construction process?
Before, in the lead up to this build, we hadn't hired Tuscan Valley. We talked to a few different contractors. And it was interesting to me that, and listen, I know they want to build their business, but Sam came by quite a few times. Basil called quite a few times to make sure that we were comfortable with the direction the project was going. And then when we hired them, things moved very quickly, which was a dream for us because any delays are money. During the process, it was great. And now that we've been done for a while, with any build, there's going to be a lot of detail that still has to be done. They are here quickly. I don't expect them to hear immediately because the trades are busy working on the big project, but all the trades have come in and done their touch-ups, little things that had to be done. So we're pretty happy with that.
Nice. Would you recommend Tuscan Valley homes to friends or family looking to build a luxury custom home, and why?
with Tuscan Valley homes, you realize that it's certainly in this neighborhood or this area, they're not going anywhere. So they're very proud of their work. And so when you're done building, I know that they'll stand behind the product that they've put together for us. And in addition, the time, I get the feeling that the trades they use really enjoy working with Tuscan Valley Homes, which is a benefit to me as the homeowner, because the trades were happy to jump right back in along the process, because building a house is a series of steps, and they had the steps very well organized. So there were only a few times where there was a little bit of disorganization, but even then it was only maybe 9-10 days. Whereas I've seen projects in our neighborhood where I don't see anything going on at the house for a month, 5 weeks. Never saw that on this project.
Nice. Is there anything else you'd like to add about your overall experience with Tuscan Valley Homes that prospective clients should know?
Yeah, with every build, they get you 4 platinum tickets to the Leaf game. No, I'm just kidding. Ask the question again.
Is there anything else you'd like to add about your overall experience with the Tuscan Valley Homes as prospective clients should know?
I think that the communication channels will always be open with Tuscan Valley Homes before, during, and after. Like I said, any project's not going to go well. And it's when you see how they deal with things, when we run into issues or delays or conflicts or cost overruns. They were great at coming back with a great solution that was, very amicable and very efficient. I think time becomes the most valuable commodity during the whole process, and Tuscan Valley appreciates that. And they were very quick, very efficient, and I was very impressed. So I'd be more than happy to recommend them to anybody. And we had just gone through COVID. Coming out during COVID, the middle of COVID, lots of confusion in supplies, lots of issues with, shipping from wood to steel to all of these different things. And Tuscan did a great job. They made it quite pleasurable.
Nice. Those were really good answers. There's 10 more. Let's go through it.
You okay with that?
Yeah, fire away. I don't care.
Okay.
What were the most important factors for you when selecting a home builder for your luxury custom home?
I wanted to hire a home builder that was going to be present, active. I didn't want the person who, at the top, say Sam, to say hi and then I never see him again. Sam was here all the time, and all of his top people were here all the time. So there was a true interest in me as a person who had just hired them. I think they were very interested in us as well as the project. I didn't feel like they were doing this so that they could do this video. I think they wanted to make sure that I was happy. And if we're happy, then word of mouth is golden.
How did Tuscan Valley Homes meet or exceed your expectations in terms of design expertise and architectural finesse?
Pass that one. It feels repetitive. Go to the next one.
Can you describe how our team's attention to detail impacted the final outcome of your home?
One thing that I really liked about the experience was seeing Rick's truck parked outside at 5:30 in the morning, just about every day. And maybe because he has a long commute, or he gets some peace and quiet from his wife. But no, I liked seeing Rick parked outside there at 5:30 in the morning, and Luigi with his iPad. And I knew, because I'm a very detailed person, very surprised at times that Rick and Luigi absolutely remembered something that I had said in an offhanded comment, 5 weeks earlier. They remembered it, and they made a note of it, and they acted on it. So it's important.
How did we accommodate any custom or unique requests you had for your project?
Yeah, when we did the project, I would say by my doing, there were a few items that I had wanted incorporated into the design, which were a little bit of a head scratcher for space, mechanicals, what have you. And instead of saying we can't do that, they really put their heads together to figure out, how we can accomplish that. I can give you lots of examples, but we purchased a plumbing item that just didn't fit, and after a little bit of putting our heads together, the plumber, Tuscan Valley, the electrician, and our cabinet maker and our designer all worked together to figure out, like, how are we going to make this thing work? And they did.
Were there any sustainability or green building practices that we implemented that were important to you?
No.
How would you rate the transparency and communication throughout the building process?
The nice thing with Tuscan Valley is that we were never not sure about what things were going to cost. With any build, it's a bit stressful because the bills don't just come in on a nice even line where it's X per week or X per month. There's huge surges, and then there's quiet, and then another huge surge. So working with Basil and the team on the finances was important to me because I had some visibility on when I was going to have to write some big checks. And I think the transparency there was great. And they presented me with different options, high, low, medium on any particular part. And in the beginning, I was paying a lot of attention to that. But as we worked through the project, I just realized these folks know what they're doing, and I'm not going to question them on a lot of this stuff. So the trust factor just skyrocketed as the project moved along.
Can you share any instance where our team went above and beyond to ensure your satisfaction?
The number of times that I had to, after we moved in, there were still, and by the way, we moved in a bit earlier for a bunch of different logistical reasons. But when we moved in and there were a little projects to be done, a little finishing pieces to be done, I laughed because the number of times I had to kick, Miguel out or Jerry out of my house at 11:30 at night. They didn't want to leave because they were not done. And, I used to joke that some of them should probably live here because by my calculation, I think they might have only had 4 or 5 hours of sleep by how late they left and how early they came back.
What was your experience with our project management in terms of keeping the project on schedule and within budget?
The nice thing when you work with Tuscan Valley Homes is that they're busy, not too busy. I mean, they don't oversubscribe with new clients, but they're busy enough that that the trades are somewhat loyal to them. And so when a house starts in February and another house starts in June and our house starts in August and another one starts in September and say November, I got the sense that the trades were going to flow through the different projects that Tuscan Valley was working on, which is a huge benefit on efficiency, time. So I used to say, well, when should I expect the framing to start? And Sam would say, well, go look at the project on this particular street, and where they're done framing there, they're coming straight to your house. And so that was really helpful. And I've looked at builders in the area where they have one project, and you can tell that they have one project. And they have one project because, they might be good at what they do, but they're just not appealing to a lot of people at the time. So I liked the fact that Tuscan Valley was busy, in demand, but not too busy.
How have we supported your post-construction in terms of warranty and any after-sales service?
Since we closed the permits, which was seamless, the team, various members of the team have been back to do little minor things, nothing to do with workmanship or anything like that, just adjustments that we've wanted, or something where we were waiting for one more part, or just little minor variations. And they've been here right away, sometimes the next day.
Okay, last question. Overall, how would you describe the quality and craftsmanship of your finished home?
The house is beautiful. We love the detail. At times I thought it was overkill, but we really appreciate it now. It is through and through, from the utility room in the basement to the master bedroom to our lighting to our, we've been through winter, we've been through summer, we've been through all 4 seasons. The house can handle anything in the Canadian climate, which makes me happy. There's no leaks, there's no whistling winds. I mean, this place is solid and it is beautifully built.